The wind blew over the open plain, jostling a few trees to move back and forth with the irritation of it. A young man in bright in a young man in bright green turban approached the army and gave his chieftain terms and chieftains term what? Oh, a young man in bright green turban approached the army and gave his chieftains terms for peace to the commander. He was refused. It was to be battle, the battle of Ain Kolur. So the chief of Imbez had decreed his open defiance, and his horsemen were at war once again. Many times the tribe had moved into territory that was not theirs to occupy, and many times the diplomatic approach had failed. It had come to this at long last. It was just as well with Mendothrax. His allies may win or lose, but he would always survive. Though he had occasionally been on the losing side of a war, never once in all of his 34 years had he lost in hand-to-hand combat. Two armies poured like dual frothing steams through the dust, and when they met, a clamor rang out, echoing into the hills. Blood, the first liquor the clay tasted in many a month, danced like powder. The high and low battle cries of the rival tribes met in harmony as the armies dug into each other's flesh. Mendothrax was in the element he loved. After 10 hours of fighting with no ground given, both commanders called a mutual and honorable withdrawal from the field. The camp was positioned in a high-walled garden of an old burial ground, adorned by springtide blossoms. As Mendothrax toured the grounds, he was reminded of his childhood home. It was a happy and sad recollection, the purity of childhood ambition, all of his schooling in the ways of battle, but tinged with the memories of his poor mother, a beautiful woman looking down at her son with both pride and unspoken sorrow. She never talked about what troubled her, but it came as no surprise to any when she took the walk across the moors and was found days later, her throat slit open by her own hand. The army itself was a colony of ants, newly shaken. Within a half an hour's time, after the end of the battle, they reorganized as if by instinct. As the medicos looked to the wounded, someone remarked, with a measure of admiration and astonishment, "Look at Mendothrax! His hair isn't even out of place." "He is a mighty swordsman," said the attending physician. "The sword is a greatly overvalued article," said Mendothrax, nevertheless pleased with the attention. "Warriors pay too much attention to striking, and not enough to defending blows. The proper way to go into battle is to defend yourself, and hit the opponent only when the ideal opportunity strikes. When the ideal moment arises. I prefer a more straightforward approach," smiled one of the wounded. "It is the way of the horseman." "If it is the way of the Bejulse tribes to fail, then I shall renounce my heritage," said Mendothrax, making a quick sign to the spirits that he was being expressive and not blasphemous. "Remember what the great swordsmaster Gaiden Shinji said. The best techniques are passed on by the survivors. I have been in 36 battles, and I haven't a scar to show for them. It's because I relied on my shield and then my blade, in that order. What's your secret? Think of the melee as a mirror. I look to my opponent's left arm when I'm striking with my right. If he is prepared to block my blow, I blow not. Why exert undue force?" Mendothrax cocked an eyebrow. "But when I see his right arm tense, my left arm goes to my shield. You see, it takes twice as much power to send force than it does to deflect it. When your eye can recognize when your opponent is striking from above at an angle or an uppercut from below, you learn to pivot and place your shield just so to protect yourself. I could block for hours if need be, but it only takes a few minutes, or even seconds, for your opponents, used to the battering, to leave a space open for your own strike." "What's the longest you ever had to defend yourself?" asked the wounded man. "I fought a man once for an hour's time," said Mendothrax. He was tireless with his bludgeoning, never giving me an opportunity to strike, never giving me a moment to do aught but block his strikes. But finally, he took a moment too long to raise his cudgel, and I found my mark in his chest. He struck my shield 1,000 times, but I struck his heart once. And that was enough." "So, he was your greatest opponent?" "Indeed not," said Mendothrax, turning to his great shield so the silvery metal reflected his own face. "That is he." What a cocky bastard! The next day, the battle recommenced. Chief Imbez had brought reinforcements from the islands to the south. To the honor and disgrace of the tribe, mercenaries, renegade horsemen, even some Richmond witches were included in the war. As Mendothrax sat across the field at the army's assembling, putting his helmet and readying his shield and blade, he thought again of his poor mother. What had tortured her so? Why was she never able to look at her son without grief? Between sunrise and sundown, the battle raged. A bright blue sky overhead burned Oh, a bright blue sky overhead burned down on the combatants as they rushed against one another over and over again. In every melee, Mindothrax prevailed. A foe raised an axe with a series of strokes against his shield, but everyone was deflected until Mindothrax could last best the warrior. A spear made nearly pierce the shield with the first strike. Mindothrax knew how to give in with the blow, throwing her off balance and leaving her open for his counterstrike. Finally, he met a mercenary on the field, armed with a shield and sword and a helm of golden bronze. For an hour and a half they battled. Mindothrax tried every trick he knew. When the mercenary tensed his left arm, he held back his strike. Oh, excuse me, let me try that one again. Mindothrax tried every trick he knew. When the mercenary tensed his left arm, he held back his strike. When his opponent rose his sword, his shield too rose and expertly blocked. For the first time in his life, he was battling another defensive fighter. Stationary, reflective, with energy to battle for days if need be. Occasionally, another warrior would enter the fray, sometimes from Mindothrax's army, sometimes from the opponents. These distractions were swiftly dispatched, and the champions returned to their fight. As they fought, circling one another, matching block for blow and blow for block, it dawned on Mindothrax that he was at last fighting the perfect mirror. It became more of a game, almost a dance, than a battle for blood. It was not until Mindothrax missed his own step, striking too soon, throwing himself off balance, that the promenade was ended. He saw, and rather felt, the mercenary's blade rip him across the throat to chest. A good strike. The sword he might have delivered. The sword he himself might have delivered. Mindothrax fell to the ground, his life passing. The mercenary stood over him, prepared to give his worthy adversary the killing blow. It was a strange, honorable deed for an outsider to do, and Mindothrax was greatly moved. Across the battlefield, he heard someone call a name similar to his own. Jurifax! The mercenary removed his helmet to answer the call. As he did, Mindothrax saw through the slits of his helmet... As he did so, Mindothrax saw through the slits of his helmet his own reflection in the man. It was his own close-set eyes, red and brown hair, thin and wide mouth. That blunt chin. For a moment he marveled at the mirror before the stranger turned back and delivered the death stroke. Jurifax returned to his commander and was well paid for his part in today's victory. They retired for a hot meal under the stairs in a garden by an old cairn that had been previously occupied by their foes. The mercenary was strangely quiet as he observed the land. "Have you been here before?" Jurifax asked one of the tribesmen who had hired him. "I was born a horseman, just like you. My mother sold me when I was just a babe. I always wondered how my life might have been different if I had not been bartered away. I had never been a mercenary." "There are many things that decide our fate," said the witch. "It is madness to try and see how you might have taken this turn or that in the world. They're not exactly like yourself, so it is foolish to compare." "But there is one," said Jurifax, looking to the stairs. "My master, before he set me free, said that my mother had twin sons when I was born. She could only afford to raise one child, and somewhere out there's a man just like me, my brother. I hope to meet him." The witch saw the spirits before her, and knew the truth, that the twins had met already. She remained silent and stared into the fire, banishing the thoughts from her head, too wise to tell all. What a beautiful, beautiful story! Get it? Do you get it? His greatest adversary is himself, because he's a twin, so he got killed by himself. You fucking get it? It's super smart. Ah! A man can only be bested by himself, so his twin.
What exactly do you require of me?
I sound facetious, but I legitimately think that's some pretty cool writing for like a book that you put in a fucking video game for no one to read. We're looking for a red guard of medium height and hair. This is actually a pretty cool one because it has its own little cell associated with it. She might be in some danger. We gotta find Tavia, but trust me, it's not just gonna be Tavia. Now we gotta find Nine Toes. He lost one in the war. My God, no! I said I would read all the things.
What is it, Mutsara?
Nine Toes, please. Give me my quest, and we can make this entire video me just reading books. Apart from what Kai's told you to do, he implied it was important. There's one minor matter. It's a bit of an embarrassing predicament. I was out hunting, tracking an elite. I was too focused on the prey and none of my surroundings. Well, to make a long story short, a pack of Dixon ambushed me. I'm fine, but one of them got away, and he took one of my favorite Jagger. If you could hunt him down. Could be anywhere by now. He was ambushed north out of Balmora. Why did I do this to myself? I gotta get a drink. And then we can start. Am I glad I'm not streaming tomorrow? It's Thursday. Normally I stream like a bunch of visual novels on Friday. Would have fucking killed me. If you would be wise, model your lives and the lives of the saints. If you would learn valor, follow St. Nerval the captain, patron of warriors and statesmen. Lord Nerval helped reunite the barbarian Dunmer tribes into a great nation, culminating in his martyrdom when leading the Dunmer to victory against the evil Dwemer and the traitorous House Dagoth in the Battle of Red Mountain. If you would learn daring, follow Saint Veloth the pilgrim, patron of outcasts and spiritual seekers. Saint Veloth, the prophet and mystic, led the Dunmer out of the decadent home country of the Somerset Isles and into the promised land of Morrowind. Saint Veloth also taught the difference between good and bad Daedra, and won the aid of the good Daedra for his people, while teaching how to carefully negotiate with the bad Daedra. If you would learn generosity, follow Saint Realms the Barefooted, the patron of pilgrims and beggars. Saint Realms gave away her shoes, then dressed and appeared as a beggar to better acquaint herself with the poor. So Veloth is the pilgrim. You know, a lot of spells start to make sense looking at this stuff. There are a lot of spells that are named after these characters, and now reading these books gives me a newfound appreciation. If you would learn self-respect and respect for others, follow Saint Aralor, the Penitent, the patron of tanners and miners. This foul criminal repented his sins and travelled a circuit of great pilgrimages on his knees. Is another one you do in silence. If you would learn mercy and its fruits, follow Saint Serin, the Merciful, the patron of brewers, bakers, and distillers. This pure virgin of modest aspect could heal all diseases at the price of taking the disease upon herself. Though tough-minded and fearless, she took on the burdens of others, and bore those burdens to an honored old age. If you would follow fierce justice, follow Saint Felms the Bold, patron of butchers and fishmongers. This brave warlord slew the Nord invaders and drove them from our lands. He could neither read nor write, receiving his inspiration directly from the lips of the Elmsivy. If you would learn pride of race and tribe, follow Saint Roris the Martyr, the patron of furnishers and caravaneers. Captured by Argonians just before the Arnesian War, Roris proudly refused to renounce the Tribunal fate and withstood cruel tortures of the Argonian sorcerers. Vengeance and justice for the martyred Saint Roris was a rallying cry for the Arnesian War. If you would learn the rule of law and justice, follow Saint Olms the Just. Oh, he has one of those big houses. There's Olms and there's Dellen, I think? Follow Saint Olms the Just, patron of chandlers and clerks, founder of the Ordinators, and Saint Olms conceived and articulated the fundamental principles of testing, ordeal, and repentance. If you would learn benevolence, follow Saint Dellen the Wise, the patron of potters and glassmakers. Saint Dellen was head of House Indoril, a skilled lawyer and author of many learned treatises on tribunal law and custom. If you would learn the love of peace, follow Saint Maris, the peacemaker, the patron of farmers and laborers. As a little girl, Saint Maris showed healing gifts and trained as a healer. She ended a long and bloody house war, intervening on the battlefield in her white robes to heal warriors and spellcrafters, without regard to faction. The troops of all houses adopted the white robes as her standard, and refused to shed the blood of their brethren. Incredible. Should you learn reverence, follow Saint Lothis the Pious, the patron of tailors and dyers, contemporary and companion of the tribunals, and the best-loved Almarula of the tribunal temple. He performed the central rituals and the principles of the new temple faith. Saint Lothis is the symbolic mortal bridge between the gods and the faithful, the archetypical priest. Fuck! There's so much lore I never knew that I now know. Let's read A Dance in the Fire, Chapter 3. Oh, I made mistakes. Hey, everyone who was, hoping that I would do more, I regret everything. I regret so much. I regret so much. But I'm learning a lot. A Dance in Fire, Chapter 3, by Waughin Jarth. Mother Polskot had disappeared into the sordid hole that was her tavern, and emerged a moment later with a scrap of paper with Lyodis Juris' familiar scrawl. Decimus Scotti held it up before a patch of sunlight that had found its way through the massive boughs of the tree city, and read, Scotti. That's a K too many. So you made it to Valensti, Valenwood. That's not how you spell Valenwood. God, this guy just can't write. Congratulations. I'm sure you had quite a adventure getting here. Unfortunately, I am not here anymore, as you probably guess. There's a town downriver called Athi. At. Get a boaty and join me. It's a deal. I hope you brought a lot of contracts, 'cause these people need a lot of building done. They were close to the war, you see, but not so close they don't have any money. left to pay. Ha! Meet me down it as soon as you can, Eurus. So, Scotty pondered. Eurus had Felensti and had gone to some place called Athy. Given his poor penmanship and ghastly spelling, it could just as equally be Athy, Orthri, Imthri, Orthra, or Krakamaka. The sensible thing to do, Scotty knew, was to call this adventure over and to try to find some way back home to the Imperial City. He was no mercenary devoted to the life of thrills. He was, or at least had been, a senior clerk at a private building commission. Over the last few weeks, he had been robbed by the Cathy Rat, taken on a deathmatch with the jungle by a gang of giggling Busmeri, half starved to death, drugged with fermented pig's milk, and nearly slain by some kind of giant tick, and attacked by archers. He was filthy, exhausted, and he counted 10 gold pieces to his name. Now the man whose proposal brought him to the depths of misery wasn't even here. It was both judicious and seemly to abandon the enterprise entirely. And yet, a small but distinct voice in his head told him, "You have been chosen. You have no other choice but to see this through, buddy." Scotty turned to the stout old woman, Mother Pescalt, who had been watching him curiously.
I was wondering if you knew of a village.
Oh, no, that's him. I was wondering if you knew of a village that was at the edge of the recent conflict of elsewhere. It's called something like Athy.
Hey, you must mean a Fae, she grinned. My middle lad, Vigil. He manages a dairy down there. Beautiful country, right on the river. Isn't that where your friend went?
Yes. Do you know the fastest way to get there? After short conversation, an even shorter ride to Felicity's roots by the way of the platforms, and a jog to the riverbank, Scotty was negotiating transport with a huge, fair-haired bosmer with a face like a pickled cop. He called himself Captain Balfix, but even Scotty, with his sheltered life, could recognize him for what he was, a retired pirate for hire, a smuggler for certain, and probably worse. His ship, which had clearly been stolen in a distant past, was a bent old Imperial sloop.
A 50 gold. Oi, 50 gold, and we'll be in Athy in 2 days' time.
Boomed Captain...
50 gold, and we'll be in Athy in 2 days' time.
Boomed Captain Balfix expansively. I only have 10... Oh, no, sorry. 9 gold pieces, replied Scotty, feeling the need for explanation. I had 10, but I had to give one to the platform ferryman to bring me here.
9 is just as fine,
said the captain agreeably. Truth be told, I was just going to Athy, whether you pay me or not.
Make yourself comfortable on the boat. We'll be leaving in just a few minutes.
Decimus Scotty boarded the vessel and sat low. Decimus Scotty boarded the vessel, which sat low on the water of the river, stacked high with crates and sacks that spilled out of the hold and galley onto the deck. Each was marked with stamps advertising the most innocuous substances: copper scraps, lard, ink, high rock meal, marked for cattle, tar, and fish jelly. Scotty's imagination reeled, picturing what kind of illicit imports were truly aboard. It took more than a few minutes for Captain Balfix to haul the rest of his cargo, but in an hour the anchor was up and they were sailing downriver toward Athy. The green-gray water barely rippled, only touched by the fingers of the breeze. Lush plant life crowded the banks, obscuring from all sights all the animals that sang and roared at one another. Lulled by the serene surroundings, Scotty drifted to sleep. At night, he awoke and gratefully accepted some clean clothes and food from Captain Balfix.
May I ask, why are you going to Athy?
Queried the bosman. I'm meeting a former colleague down there. He asked me to come from the Imperial City where I worked in the Atreus Building Commission to negotiate some contracts. Scotty took another bite of the dried sausages they were sharing for dinner. We were going to try and refurbish whatever roads, bridges, and other structures that got damaged in the recent war with the Khajiit.
It's been a hard 2 years.
The captain nodded his head. Though I suppose good for you and the likes... Good for me, and the likes of you and your friend. Trade routes cut off. Now,
they think there's going to war with the Somerset Isles. You heard that?
Scotty shook his head.
I've done my fair share of smuggling skooma down the coast,
even helping some of the revolutionary type escape with the Maine's wrath. But now the war's made me a legitimate trader, a businessman. The first casualty to the wars is always the corrupted. Scotty said he was sorry to hear that, and they lapsed into silence, watching the stars and moon's reflection on the still water. The next day, Scotty awoke to find the captain wrapped up in a sail, tortured from alcohol, singing in a low, slurred voice. When he saw Scotty rise, he offered his flagon of jagger. I learned my lesson during revelry at Western Cross. The captain laughed and burst into tears. I don't want to be legitimate. All the pirates used to know was still raping and stealing and smuggling and selling and nice folk like you in slavery. I swear to you, I never thought the first time I read a legal ship with illegal goods in my life would turn out like this. Oh, I know. I could go back to it, but no, not after all I've seen. I'm a ruined man. Scotty helped the weeping mare out of the sail, murmuring the words of reassurance. He then added, Forgive me for changing the subject. Where are we? Oh. Moaned Captain Balfix miserably. We made good time. The Althay's right around the corner, around the bend of the river. Then it looks like Athay is on fire, said Scotty, pointing. A great plume of smoke, black as pitch, was rising over the trees. As they drifted around the bend, they next saw the flames and the blackened skeletal remains of the village. Dying, blazing villagers leapt from rocks into the river. A cacophony of wailing met their ears, and they could see, roaming among the edges of the town, the figures of Khajiiti soldiers bearing torches. Banda, bless me! slurred the captain. The war's back on! Oh no, whimpered Scotty. The sloop drifted with the current towards the opposite... What skill increase did I get from this book again? I got a skill up, right? Oh man, this is taking forever. But I like it, you know? I gotta say, this is some nice writing. Too bad fucking Skyrim doesn't bother anymore. If Elder Scrolls 6 has any books, they're not gonna exist. Trust me. They're gonna be skill books and they have 2 pages. The sloop drifted with the current towards the opposite shore, away from the fiery town. Scotty turned his attention there, and the sanctuary it offered. Just a peaceful arbor, away from the horror. And there was a shudder of leaves in 2 of the trees, and a dozen lithe Khajiit dropped to the ground, armed with bows. They see us, hissed Scotty, and they've got bows. Of course they have bows, snarled Balfix. We Bosmer way have invented the bloody things, but we didn't think to keep them secret, you bloody blur cat. And now they're setting their arrows on fire. Yeah, they do that sometimes. Captain, they're shooting at us. They're shooting at us with flaming arrows. So they are. The aim's not... The aim is to avoid not being hit. But hit they were, and very shortly thereafter. Even worse, the second volley of arrows hit the supply of pitch, which ignited with a tremendous blue haze. Scotty grabbed Balfix, and they leapt overboard just before the boat and all its cargo were disintegrated. The shock of cold water brought the Bosmer into temporary sobriety. He called to Scotty, who had already been swimming as fast as he could towards the bend. Master Dimesis, where do you think you're swimming to? Back to Phalanste. That would take you days, and by the time you get there, everyone will already know about the attack on Athay. They'll never let anyone they don't know in. The closest village downriver is Grenos. Maybe they'll give us shelter. Scotty swam back to the captain, and side by side they began paddling in the middle of the river, past the burning residuum of the village. He thanked Mara that he had learned to swim. Many a Cyrodiil did not, and as largely landlocked as the Imperial province was. He had been raised in Murkurup or Ottoman. Had he been raised in Murkurup or Ottoman, he might have been doomed, but in the Imperial city itself, he was surrounded by water, and every lad and lass there knew how to cross without a boat. Oh, that's actually pretty cute. That's a cute detail. Even those who grew up to be clerks and not adventurers. Balafak's sobriety faded as he grew used to the water's temperature. Even in the winter tide, the Xylo River was fairly temperate, and after a fashion, even comfortable. The Bosmer strokes were uneven, and he'd stayed closer to Scotty, and then further away, pushing ahead and then falling behind. Scotty looked at the shore on his right. The flames had caught the trees like tinder. Behind him was an inferno, with which they were barely keeping pace. To the shore on his left all looked fair, until he saw a tremble in the river reeds, and then what caused it. A pride of the largest cats he had ever seen. They were auburn-haired, green-haired beasts, with jaws and teeth to match his wildest nightmares, and they were watching the 2 swimmers, keeping pace. Captain Balfix, we can't go to either that shore or the other one, or be parboiled and eaten, Scotty whispered. Try to even your kicking and strokes. Breathe like you would normally. If you feel tired, tell me, and we'll float on our backs for a while. Anyone who has any experience, and anyone who's had the experience of giving rational advice to a drunkard would understand the hopelessness. Scotty kept pace with the captain, slowing himself, quickening, drifting left and right, while the Bosmer moaned old ditties from his pirate days. When he was not watching his companion, he watched the cats on shore. After a stretch, he turned to his right. Another village had caught fire. Undoubtedly it was Grenos. Scotty stared at the blazing fury, awed by the sight of the destruction, and did not hear what the captain had ceased to sing. It did not hear that he... Okay. When he turned back, Captain Balfix was gone. Scotty dove into the murky depths of the river over and over again. There was nothing to be done. When he surfaced from his final search, he saw that the giant cats had moved on, perhaps assuming that he too had drowned. He had continued his lonely swim downriver. A tributary, he had noticed, formed a final barrier, keeping the flames from spreading further. But there were no more towns. So after several hours, holy shit, that's a long time to be swimming, he began to ponder the wisdom of going ashore. Which shore was the question? He was spared the decision. Ahead of him was a rocky island with a bonfire. He did not know if he was intruding on a party of Bosmeri or Khajiit, only that he could swim no more. With straining, aching muscles, he pulled himself onto the rocks. They were Bosmer refugees, he gathered, even before they told him. Roasting over the fire was the remains of one of the giant cats that had been stalking him through the jungle on the opposite shore. "A Senshatire," said one of the youngest boys ravenously. "It's no animal. It's as smart as a Cathay rat, or the Ohms, or any other bleeding Khajiiti. Pity this one drowned. I gladly would have killed it. You'll like the meat, though. Sweet, like all the sugar those asses eat." Scotty did not know if he was capable of eating a creature as intelligent as man or mare, but he surprised himself, as he had done several times over the last few weeks. It was rich, succulent, and sweet, like sugared pork, but no seasonings had been added. He surveyed the crowd as he ate, a sad lot, some still weeping from lost family members. They were the survivors of both villages of Grinos and Ethe, and war was on every person's lip. Why had the Khajiit attacked it again? Why? Specifically directed at Scotty as a Cyrodiil, why was the Emperor not enforcing peace in his provinces? "I was to meet another Cyrodiil," he said to a Bosmer maiden who he understood to be from Ethe. "His name is Lydas Juris. I don't suppose you might have known what happened to him." "I do not know your friend, but there were many Cyrodiils in Athe when the fire came," said the girl. "Some of them, I think, left quickly. They were going to Vindisi, inland, in the jungle. I'm going there tomorrow, as so are many of us. If you wish, you may come as well." Techimus Scotty nodded solemnly. He had made himself as comfortable as he could in the stony ground of the river island, and somehow, after much effort, he fell asleep. But he did not sleep well. Holy shit, this man is living the shit life. Oh my god. Oh, no, it's Vindisi, not Philinsti. Oh, this poor man has the shittest life. Athletics. Of course I learned athletics from that. Oh my god. I cannot fight a Nixhound, though. Don't know if you've noticed, but I'm made of paper. I cannot fight a Nixhound. And everyone thinks I'm dumb. Which, fair enough, I am. But let's see if we can acquire some goods at the local store. Oh, I should probably sell all these potions I've acquired. I might actually have some cash. Let's just scavenge around town a little more. I mean, I can't sell them for a good price, but there's something. I know of an alchemist that is probably willing to take those off my hands, who's quite wealthy. We can even acquire some ingredients and brew some levitation potions. We have our standards, Benton, and you do not meet them. Again, it is nearly impossible not to meet these requirements because every person starts with a 30. I am the...
What's this about?
I am the very model of a modern major... I'm not even in the mood for doing the song. That's how shit this situation is. I can't loot dungeons. I can't do anything. I need to find some way to get some experience under this belt. I gotta get some experience. And I think the best way to do that is just to kind of go out of town and make the best of it. But what is making the best of it when you suck ass? Well, let's go see if we can cash in some of this stuff. I think right now potions and scrolls are my finest tools. If I can get a couple of potions and I can get a couple of scrolls. The corner clubs. I know no spells. I'm not good at anything. Even destruction's on my blacklist. Please, I know that you hate my guts. Just shut up and take my potions. That's a bit of money. Actually, I need a squat. Do you have any jelly? Actually, I can probably get some jelly on my own. Here's some Drogracks. I don't want it. I don't want it. Here, you can have this one too. Actually, just give me one less. You can use this to make magica potions together with calm berries, but I don't have any. Anything else? Nope. Nope. We are shit out of luck.
Is it necessary that you speak with me?
See, unlike Goodbye Volcano High, they know where the fuck to put their emphasis. Jesus. It's not so hard. Like, intelligence, increasing that isn't even useful for me. I need to get my strength up. I need to get my strength up. I need to bonk something. I'm bonky good. I think we have an option, though. Outside of town, it should be easy enough to find ourselves a scrib or two. If we can smash those to pieces, we can get some supplies, and then we can get that one guy to help out. It's not much, but it should get us somewhere. Isn't it fun that, like, a bunch of these statistics are going to go up by 20% just using the skill once and leveling up? It's great. As I mentioned, every 5 levels I increase my stats either by 5 or by 10. My luck, specifically. I'm just going to wait now. Oh, we can actually gather, like, a bunch of good plants here. Here's the problem. That's the problem. Scribs are annoying. They paralyze you. They don't do a lot of damage, but they'll paralyze you. Give me your jelly. There we go. See? Calm berries are everywhere. Around here, at least. Elsewhere in Vardenfell, you might have some difficulty finding them. Nice. See? Make a little script on the side. Little cash. Now we can go back to the guy in Sidanin and give that to him. We can even draw by the Blades Trader there. The Blades Trainer. Maybe they can give us a quest or two. Something to do on the offside. You bet your ass I'm going to take that agility increase and that speed increase. You have no idea how useful those are. If you want to train athletics, by the way, fun tip, walk up a hill and then jump off. If you take falling damage from a fall like that, you get bonus experience points for acrobatics, by the way. You get a bunch more. Listen. Standard jump. I got 2. Fall from a height. Oh, that wasn't enough. Sorry, I thought that would hurt me. Fall from a great height. And I fucking die. Well, that can't be good. Yeah, that wasn't good at all. Falling damage isn't that great. It's just that my acrobatics is A, absolutely abysmal, and B, somewhat more importantly, I have only 15 hit points, so yes, I die very quickly. You might not have noticed, but anything bigger than a scrib can kick my ass. So I'm gonna show you that this is fantastic for gaining experience. It just is. Because every one of these counts as a jump, by the way. Look at that. And I'm gonna want that, because again, acrobatics gives you strength. I need one more, I think, to get my strength up to a beautiful +3, which again is a huge increase. Going from 100 to 115 is a difference. I can actually carry some loot with me. Okay, so this should be enough, right? Okay, acrobatics 24. One jump gets me to 25. If I jump and take falling damage, it goes up by a quarter. It's a huge increase. Problem is, I have no hit points, so I cannot take a fall like that. Besides, I kind of just want my acrobatics to be up in general. Free training. Also, more strength means I hit harder, which, you know, can't argue with that. Can't argue with more strength. We're just gonna go until 10. Call it a day. Just imagine seeing this Breton just run up and down the stairs, trying desperately to grow some muscle. Because he spent way too long on a prison slave ship. Bought by the Empire. Sent off out of pure sheer coincidence of meeting Minervar's requirements. Bring me to Sidanin, buddy. I need to give this guy his...
Where would you like to go?
Here are your Silt Strider supplies. Thank you, Pitten. I appreciate it. And my Strider appreciates it. Oh, you give me a scroll. I got you some friendship points. Cool, I saved 1 coin. Awesome. Look at this. Oh, that's another person. I'm Darv's cousin. Couldn't you spare a few coins, could you? I need just enough for the boat and Strider fare to go back to Tribunal. Join House Stovani. Just a hireling. It's hard to move up the ranks once you're in your inn. The doors are just open for your opportunity. My other cousin, she got me in. You see this all this bungler bane all over? The only bungle is you know picking it. For the right recipe, the right buy stuff is fluffy gold. I'm a lifesaver. A real lifesaver. I'll return the favor when I see you again. She has a letter for Darvam. Delivered, right? What a quaint quest. Who is this Darvam person again? Is that the lady we got the Why Don't You Write Me quest from? No. Who is this Darvam? I still try to Isn't that the guy who's literally standing right the fuck here? I'm gonna read this letter.
Where would you like to go?
I want to know what the hell's going on here. Actually, let's read this for legit. Fadjino. Asrb. Mbdvsmg. Faf. Liquid. Offius bezugnuf. Puv. Fkuk. Vip. Erug. Boev. Vib. Jai. Liquid. Bruzg. Akovau. Yilkix. Prr. Sun. Mzgoed. Kuv. Vike. Okpr. Fukrugre. Sicher. Tsenjerker. Gekdbuk. Ekbuk. Of. Apisser. Rakker. Och. Oh, technisch. What beautiful writing these beautiful boys write. Anyway, I'm going to put that through a Caesar cipher. I couldn't solve this one, but luckily, the people at USB has already translated it for me. It is apparently the Vigneer cipher. The key is come on with a C and 1 M. It translates to Darvam. I apologize for your assignment, but few in either party know you. Your next contact will be an Altmer with 3 coat of flowers in her left ear, a spider robe, and deep red belt. A gentleman. Anyway. Oh, that's so dumb. Why is the text below? Oh, because we can't talk. Can't even get there from here. They only visit when they want something. Fair enough. Why are we here again? We're here for the trainer, actually. I can't wait for the stat up. It's gonna be such a difference. Like, it's not about the total number, it's about the relative increases. Hello, Oreo. Hey, do you buy books? I happen to get my hands on some really heavy, expensive books. What an awful spell. Slowfall and Calm. I mean, it's useful for when I get myself out of a bind.
Well, what have we here? Interesting.
A visitor came by a few weeks ago. He was going to look something in the Nimavia. The Nimavia grotto can be a dangerous place depending on the tides and seasons. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look for him later. Ah, it's not a bad one, actually.
So what do you want?
Go away.
Someone should teach you some manners.
Sweet Jesus. Fine, I'll read all of this. Hereas the general sessions of the peace... Oh, Jesus Christ. We'll read this some other time when I feel like it. Right now, we've got to go to Eldroom,
No,
deliver a
I don't
fucking
think
letter.
so.
Listen, I'm a very dainty boy. I have 9 armor. I'm worth nothing. Nothing. Take me to Eldroom. How expensive is it? An arm and a leg to go to Balmora.
We make a special trip just for you.
You, as sure as fuck, don't make a special trip just for me. I'm paying for all of this. Listen, I'm looking for some guy. Do you know where to find him? No? It's the district seat of House Hleran. A large settlement. Pretty much everyone here is Dunmer because we're getting inland. It gets way worse out Telvanni side though, because Telvanni don't like people very much. We don't know anyone in town actually, so we're gonna have to check each of the stores and see if we can find this Hleran guy. He might be in the council club. Or in the Old Scar Inn. Wreans house. Knock. We should probably take some of this. A trauma root is worth like 10 a pop. So any we can find that we can take is a good pickings. We got a Danis ruler or someone else.
I don't have a lot of patience.
I know, I suck ass, thank you. A Clothier. Where is this guy?
Leave me.
Yes, I know. Everyone thinks I'm stupid. You know, it's not very encouraging when you walk into town, the first thing that happens is everyone's giving you shits for shit.
Say what you want.
Not you. You're involved with a Molek bomber, or sort of Malagmer bomber. He's involved with like a whole Thieves Guild thing that's about Robin Hooding.
You will address me with respect.
The Guar herders west of Aldrin are having trouble with bandits. You know, let's see if the smith has anything worth having. I have a couple of coins in my back pocket. I would pay for anything that's better than this stupid thing. There's a house back there. We'll go there a little later. It's related to a Hleran quest, but it's still worth going to. It's a pawnbroker, not a smith. Yeah, you probably know where some random assholes hanging out, I guess. Cool, you sell everything, short blades, long blades, except what I need, you fucker. Darvam Hleran. Teneran. Sensitive. Any of the houses? Is there anything manor? No, he's probably not a rich person. He wouldn't be running a Silt Strider if that was the case. Yeah, he might be inside one of the fucking goddamn inns. I love running chores for people. A great way to spend my day. That sounds like an Ashlander name. He might even be in the temple, all things considered.
Is it necessary that you speak with me?
Well, that's a Hleran house, so they're not home though. Fuck. Let's check out the Old Scar Inn then. That sounds like a place that an average Dunmer would be hanging out. It's a lot better here than outside, where the weather's terrible. Skeetle. Who are you? People of the root.
You bother us.
Tell
Do
your
not
friends
waste
about
our
this.
time.
Sorry, Jesus. I know that I look very
This
ugly.
better be important, Breton.
Say what you want or go away.
He runs the council
What do you
club.
want?
Oh, that's right around the corner, actually. They don't like it if you start picking their plants.
Ask if you must.
You're a very cool-looking cat, by the way. If only I was an uncourteous thief. I've got a letter for you. Here you go. Yeah, sure, it's definitely for me. For your service and continued service, I'm going to give you something that you will remember. They say a magic ring is always welcome. This one is especially appropriate for this situation. Shut up and don't tell anyone. The rest is none of my business. Silence for 5 seconds is actually pretty good. It shuts down mages. And how many charges? Enough. Holy shit, that will fire 5 times. So I can shut down a mage for a good period of time.
Whatever you're looking for.
Admittedly, I don't want to fight a mage at all right now, because magic spells aren't affected by armor. Aren't reduced by armor. You get the point. Can we get a quest here? Because I know this lady just needs me to get a book. I can get a book. I mean, she's very rude about it, but I can get a book.
Training for the right price.
Do you have any jobs for me? The Chronicles of Nuclift. Of Nechulift. Jesus. There's Neshuba's rare books in Vivek that should be easy enough to get our hands on. Let's actually wait an hour and make some potions, brew some stuff, brew some brewskis for the boys and all that. I mean, intelligence is probably going to be it, right? Because I'm getting a lot of alchemy levels. I mean, I got security too, and conjuration is like the way I can spam it.
The finest potions and elixirs in town are right here.
I'll be fine. Besides, it's already pretty high up, so I should probably focus on something else in the meantime. Let's brew some brewskis for the boys. So this and some hound meat will create some very powerful potions. You cannot handle my strongest potions, traveler. Levitation potions, always nice. A little bit of healing. Oh, combine these. Combine these two. No. Buddy, I got some potions for you. Do I even want cheaper store health? Like, mine are pretty much the same, and I can make them, and they're lighter. Here you go, some potions I can't use. That's the only reason I'm selling them to you. How does it feel knowing that I'm only selling you stuff because I don't want it myself? I mean, that's how barter works. Let's be honest. I'll get some restore fatigues and a couple of levitates, but nothing much else. He doesn't sell trauma root, so we're kind of out of luck there. So far about the same. Whatever. Yeah, it's a nice bit of change. I still got only a shitty mace, but we're making some money. Which might be just what we need.
You want
so
something?
expensive. Hey, do you happen to buy, like, random garbage? No? No random garbage? Cool. Hey, do you happen to buy random garbage? No, you sell spells, which is nice, but I don't really want spells right now. Detecting keys is of limited utility. The demoralized creatures might work, but that's 5 points, and you're dealing with 100-point scales. They'll probably still hate your guts. Kind of need these two, but not right now. I can get them. That's what I want, though. You never know when you need to open a door. Fuck it, we'll buy them. Let's see if we can get our hands on Chronicles of Nechulift. Or if I just made a huge mistake. If I did, we can always just sell some more potions. Oh, would you look at this? It's more potions to sell. How nice. I think Yusuba's rare books is like a floor down. Oh, there's all kinds of crates we can loot. Yeah. Just scavenging around town. Don't mind me. I'm just a poor man from a poor family. I'm just a poor boy. I'm just a poor boy. I'm just a poor man from a poor family. Got some Haklo Lowleaf. Once we learn Soul Trap, that might be worth it. Or we can get a Soul Drinker weapon. The Soul Drinker weapon would be great. I think we need to be in the lower wasteworks, though, so... 3 strength, though. Being conservative has really helped with that. With my weight problems. I think he's on the east side, or is he west side? Nope, he's west side. What do you sell? Books? I happen to have a book here. In fact, I happen to have some other books that I don't really need this many of.
No, I don't think so.
I love Yobasha's rare books. It's great. Perhaps they have a copy. Well, there goes all my money.
Now or leave now.
By the way, there's a stupid Charles the Plant up here, and he gives you, I think that's just, it is a copy of Scrib Jelly, I think, and you can combine it with Scrib Jelly and make a potion that is just the effects of Scrib Jelly. In case for some reason that's something you have a need of. Honestly, athletics is making headways.
What's this then?
Whatever you're...
I appreciate that no one thinks I'm cool. Everyone just wants a piece of this. Throw me down the gutter if they can. Actually, we should go over here. You might be able to see it from here. If forgot about the exact map of this cop, but it's like over there somewhere. I don't think we can see it from here, but there's a thing over there. That'll be the rain that's not letting us see that far. The Smith.
I have
Actually,
no time for you.
I have a mod, by the way, that makes it so that there's random ass guards around. Clubs are terrible. They do no damage whatsoever.
You talk.
Isn't there an alchemist around here? Or is it
We
just
talk
can't
with you?
all talk
There's
now.
something not right.
Everyone hates me. Everyone thinks I'm the biggest loser in town. I hate it. Here, would you like to buy these fine things? Hey, I need that. She's looking over my shoulder going, hey, what's that? Can I have it? If only I was a thief. So much to steal here. Scuttles. I could have gotten scuttles.
Say what you want or go away.
Jesus, we're in the same guild and he doesn't like me. Am I doing another? No. No.
Hail.
Can I take these? No, of course not. Send me over to Outer Room. It's all the same price here anyway. Here's your stupid book. How the hell do I meet the requirements? Do I even... I barely have the money for this, too. I might have more if I sell you these. Cannot afford the transaction right now. Well, that's fair enough. This is literally just going to set as Nora Wolverine Hall to remind you that this place exists.
The finest
Yes,
potions
Breton?
and elixirs in town
What do you...
I don't want to hear who has the finest potions and elixirs in town. He can go stuff it. Can you imagine? I was gonna go to Vivek anyway. God, they gave you this. It's cute. Just gonna go there anyway. We're gonna go to Vivek, and we're gonna stop at the books because we're gonna read the books. We're gonna read a fuck ton of books. Do I regret it? Yeah, in a way I do. In a way I do, but they say that knowledge is power, and I could use every bit of power I can get. Every single drop of it.